Sit back and throw one back with your pinkies in the air and a middle finger to the world. And join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, as we look back on this day in professional wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and give us a big old thumbs up. And now, without further ado, let's look back on this day in pro wrestling history. Woo! It is February 4th, and we're going to start off as we always do on a positive note. These are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1976, Stevie Knight. 1981, indie star Big Daddy Yum Yum. 1982, Chris Sabin. And in 1992, Christian Saint. Of course, on the flip side of that coin, these are your pro wrestling deaths for February 4th. 1990, Whipper Billy Watson. 2016, Axel Rotten. Alright, enough of the sad stuff. It's time to get to the meat and potatoes. That's right, your pro wrestling history highlights for February 4th. 1938, Jack Ross wins his 6th Southern Lightweight title in Augusta, Georgia by defeating Raul Lopez. 1940, Tarzan Lopez defeats Octavio Guano for the World Middleweight title in Mexico City, Mexico. 1950, The Demon defeats Tom Marshall to win the Jack Pfeffer promoted World Heavyweight title in Akron, Ohio. 1964, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation hold an event in Madison Square Garden. In the main event, Argentina Apollo and WWF World Heavyweight Champion Bruno Sammartino defeat Klondike Bill and Gorilla Monsoon in a best 2 out of 3 falls match, 2-0. 1965, Dr. Bill and Dan Miller defeat Gorilla Monsoon and Cowboy Bill Watts in Washington, D.C. to win the Worldwide Wrestling Federation United States Tag Team titles. 1969, Giant Baba and Antonio Inoki defeat Danny Hodge and Wilbur Snyder for the NWA International Tag Team titles in Sapporo, Japan. 1974, Albert Wall defeats Horst Hoffman for the European Heavyweight title. 1977, Chavo Guerrero defeats Dory Funk Jr. to win his 8th NWA America's Heavyweight title. 1979, Gran Marcus defeats TNT in Mexico City, Mexico for the Mexican National Heavyweight title, beginning his 2nd reign. At the same event, Gran Hamada wins the UWA World Junior Light Heavyweight title from Cesaro Valentino. 1985, Rip Oliver defeats Buck Zumhofe for the vacant World Class Television title in Fort Worth, Texas. 1990, the WWF hold an event at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Ontario. In the main event, WWF Champion Hulk Hogan defeats The Genius and Mr. Perfect in a handicap match to retain the title after pinning both men individually. And last but not least, 1995, ECW holds an event called Double Tables. In the main event, Sabu and the Tasmaniac defeat ECW World Tag Team Champions, the Public Enemy, Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock, in a double tables match to win the titles. Those are your pro wrestling history highlights for February 4th. I'm the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.